California's had a fraud issue. We've had an issue of not knowing where monies are going. And when we have a billions-dollar deficit, I think it's time that taxpayers know where their money's being spent. So today we're calling this press conference, we're calling on the governor to call a special session to stop the fraud. I think it's important that California taxpayers know where their dollars are going. So we're calling on the governor again to call a special session so we can get to the bottom of that. And today behind me is Republican caucus in the Assembly side, standing together, and we're going to talk about a few of those issues today.
Many sober living homes are unlicensed and unregulated by DHCS. They operate in a legal gray area that protects the predator, not the patient. Not that long ago, a Beverly Hills surgeon was sentenced to 10 years in state prison for stealing nearly $38 million in elaborate insurance fraud scheme that involved hiring body brokers to pay patients at Southern California sober living homes. California's pathetic excuse of patient protection laws are quite literally encouraging this type of rampant fraud and abuse of our health insurance market. That's why this year I'm running AB 1779 to limit patient brokering into the states and prevent facilities from offering incentives for patients to choose their facility. Enough is enough. These insurance scams contribute to why Californians face such high premiums when it comes to getting the treatments they needed. To the fraudsters listening, California is no longer your open bar. The tab is closed and the lights are coming on.
It is well known that the state of California has spent billions upon billions trying to address the homelessness crisis in our state. Unfortunately, despite the continuous flow of funding directed to various programs managed by 9 different state agencies, sending billions of dollars to 58 counties, the state has failed to solve this crisis. Are we surprised? No. I have requested an audit of the Homeless Housing Assistance and Prevention Program, otherwise known as HAP, but have not had confirmation that the Joint Legislative Audit Committee will hear my audit request. To put the scope of this problem in perspective, the state has spent, at last count, more than $37 billion of taxpayer money, $37 billion of taxpayer money since 2019 for housing and homelessness related programs across the state. There has been a shocking lack of accountability within this fragmented approach to providing homelessness services. According to a 2025 report from the Legislative Analyst's Office, the legislature lacks key outcome data. No one has basic information on program output, such as how many individuals in encampments have been provided case management services. What are they doing with the money? In fact, despite the enormous amount of spending by the state, California has seen a 7% increase in homelessness since 2019, the year the governor took office, who had pledged to solve the homeless problem. Sacramento, it's 2026, and we still have a problem. It's time that we re-examine our current approach. It's not working. HAP and other homeless-focused programs, and there are other programs we simply do not know about, are clearly not making efficient use of the billions of dollars they have received. How do we know this? Homelessness continues to increase in California, giving our state the highest homeless population in the country. Californians deserve better, the homeless deserve better, and it starts with finding out where the $37 billion went. Waste, fraud, mismanagement, abuse on steroids. How did the 9 state agencies spend the money they received from the taxpayers? Has anyone asked? I am asking. I don't want to really find fraud. I want to find shelter for the homeless. I want to help people. We want solutions that work. Where did the money go?
Californians face a cost of living crisis. Working families are getting crushed year after year with higher costs from some of the bad legislation coming out of this building. And fraud absolutely is linked to the cost of living crisis that every family is struggling with. Every dollar, every penny of fraud is money that should be going to needy families in the form of core government services that they are now seeing cuts in. Every dollar that's given out to a fraudster is a dollar that should actually be given back to a taxpayer, because we have the highest tax burden in the nation. And yet these people in this building, they're looking for ways to raise taxes rather than cutting the fraud. They want to impose the cost of fraud on working families in the form of massive tax and fee increases. We're here today to demand, stop imposing the cost spikes on working families.